Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. So tonight we'll discuss how to be a disciple. Some of the qualities which are necessary if one wants to be a qualified disciple of the disciplic succession. Hands up if you would like to become a qualified disciple. Very good. Thank you for coming. Qualifications of a bona fide disciple. The Hari Bhakti Vilas lists the following qualifications for a bona fide disciple who may be trained and engaged in deity worship. So, the Hari Bhakti Vilas is a book which was composed by two of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Now, they wrote this book under the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write very much himself. He wrote the Shikshastika, which is 8 verses. It's a very small amount of writing. You'll see in history, quite often great religious teachers do not always write so much themselves. Just like in the Christian tradition, you'll see that Jesus, he himself did not write very much. But it is the apostles or the disciples who wrote the teachings that he gave to them. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write very much himself. He wrote the Shikshastika, which is 8 verses. Within the Shikshastika, the entire philosophy of the Srimad Bhagavatam is contained. Everything is there within Shikshastika, in those 8 verses. But then he instructed his followers, primarily the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, to elaborate upon his teachings and to present them in a way that the rest of the world could appreciate them and understand them. So he met with Rupa Goswami in Prayag, Allahabad, for 8 days. And in that meeting, 10 days, at the Dashramedha Ghat in Prayag, Allahabad, and for those 10 days he instructed Rupa Goswami, and then he said, all that I've instructed you, now you please compile that. So that became the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other books, which we follow. Now, Lord Chaitanya, he met Sanatana Goswami in Benares, Varanasi. And for 30 days he instructed Sanatana Goswami. They would meet every day, and Lord Chaitanya would instruct him. And at the end of the time they spent together, at the end of those 30 days, then Lord Chaitanya, he instructed that Sanatana Goswami write down what he had learned from him. So then he compiled different books. Now, the principal book is called the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Has anyone read that book? It's now available? Yeah, it's now available. It's being printed by the BBT. All of these books will come out. Most of them are in English now, most of these books, but the BBT is presenting them. Our own printing presses, ISKCON's own printing presses, presenting these books. So the Brihad Bhagavatamrita is the seminal work of the Goswamis. It was the first work of Sanatana Goswami, and all of the books of the Goswamis are based upon Brihad Bhagavatamrita. The whole philosophy of the Srimad Bhagavatam is in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And then all of the books which follow later are based upon the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Now, one of the books is called Hari Bhakti Vilas. This means how to, literally, what do these words mean? What does Hari mean? Hari means lion. This is one of the names, one of the meanings of Hari. Hari means a lion. Krishna is compared to be like a lion. Now, why is he like a lion? It says in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lord Chaitanya looks like a lion. He has a thin waist like a lion, broad shoulders like a lion. He's very powerful like a lion. And his voice is like the roar of a lion. So he's very powerful. And it says within the Chaitanya Charitamrita that when the Lord appears in your heart, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in your heart, then the elephant-like desires, material anarthas, they will flee when the lion appears in your heart and he roars. So he's considered to be like a lion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Krishna is considered to be. So Hari means, what does Bhakti mean? Devotion. So Hari Bhakti means devotion to Hari. And Vilas? What is vilas?
Activities. Activities.
Activities, yeah. What else does vilas mean?
Addressing the.
Huh?
Addressing the. Addressing.
Addressing.
Residence.
Residence.
Yeah.
Vilas. Vilas means like a place of pleasure. Vilas. Place where you will enjoy. Hari Bhakti. Vilas. A place where we will enjoy. You will enjoy Hari Bhakti. We can enjoy devotional service. Devotional service is the most enjoyable activity for the soul. This is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yayatma suprasidati. It gives unlimited pleasure to the soul. So this is Hari Bhakti Vilas, the pleasure. So Hari Bhakti Vilas was compiled by Sanatana Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and it describes many of the activities, the Sad Achar. Achar, we have the word Acharya. So Achar means activity, our actions. Prachar means what we say. Achar means what we do, like that. So Sadachar means spiritual activities. So in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, spiritual activities are discussed. What we should do as a devotee, how we should act and behave as a devotee. So in terms of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatana Goswami and how we should act as a disciple, this is what this list is based upon from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. This is coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself through Sanatana Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, how we should act as a disciple. It is not an exhaustive list, it is not everything, but many important qualities which are there. So if you'd like to become a good disciple, then please listen attentively. If you have any questions as you go, then you can ask as we go through. Okay. The Hari Bhakti Vilas lists the following qualifications for a bona fide disciple who may be trained and engaged in deity worship. Number 1, he should be devoted to the lotus feet of the spiritual master. So this is the first qualification which is given. A disciple should be devoted to the spiritual master. Where else do we hear this instruction? Very good. In the Nectar of Devotion, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the Nectar of Devotion, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are 64 qualities or 64 activities which a devotee must engage in. 64 limbs of bhakti. Now what is the very first of those limbs? Yeah, Guru Pad Ashraya. What does Ashraya mean? To take shelter. We live in an ashram. Right? Our ashram, Grihastha Ashrama. Our ashram, our home. Our home is an ashram, or brahmachari ashram, or brahmacharini ashram. That means it is the place we reside where we take shelter of Krishna. All the activities in that place where we reside, they should be dedicated to Krishna. So Guru, Pad, Ashraya. We should take shelter at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. So here, the first instruction is, we should be devoted to the lotus feet of the spiritual master. This is in essence what it means to be a disciple. A disciple, Prabhupada explains in English, the word disciple means one who is disciplined. You can't make spiritual advancement unless you become disciplined. Now, Prabhupada explains, and Chanakya Pandit explains, that the duty of the guru and the father, and you can say and the mother, the duty of the guru, the father, is to discipline the children or the disciple. Because then they will develop a good character. If the disciple is not disciplined by the spiritual master, then they do not develop a good character. Same as the children. The children are not disciplined, then they do not develop good character. So the disciple means one who will follow discipline. So the disciple, as it says here, he should be devoted to the lotus feet of the guru. This is the process of receiving divya gyan. You'll see in the material world, everywhere in the material world, if you want to receive knowledge, you need a teacher. We don't learn anything unless we have a teacher. You can say, well, I will learn from books, but where do the books come? The books were written by someone. So either way, either passively or actively, you're receiving knowledge through a teacher. So a disciple is one who accepts a teacher. Now, in this particular tradition, we're interested in developing Krishna consciousness or love for Krishna or Krishna Prem. Therefore, we look for a spiritual guide, a spiritual guru, in order to progress. So we take shelter of the guru. This is what Arjuna did with Krishna in the very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, the 7th verse. Arjuna says to Krishna, Shishyasteham satimam tvam prapanam. Prapana means surrender. I am surrendered to you. Shishya, I am your Shishya, your disciple. Please instruct me. I do not know what is the meaning of life. I do not know what is the goal of life. So in order to understand Krishna, in order to understand the ultimate goal of life, we need someone who can teach us. Actually, we need many people who can teach us. Guru is not one. Important point to understand. It is not just the Diksha Guru, but it is Diksha and Shiksha Gurus. Prabhupada explains to us that Diksha Guru is one, but Shiksha Guru can be many. Many people can instruct us. Many people will instruct us. Many people will assist us in advancing in our Krishna consciousness. So this is the process of Shiksha. When we are Shishya, that means we are disciple, we are accepting Shiksha. So now we'll learn about how we should deal with the spiritual masters, particularly the Diksha Guru. Who is the Diksha Guru? Now, Srila Prabhupada explains the most prominent Shiksha Guru generally becomes the Diksha Guru. Right? Who do you take Diksha from? The person who gives you the principal amount of instruction. The person who most inspires you in Krishna consciousness. The person whose instructions enter the most deeply into your heart and give you the most inspiration to attain Krishna. That person becomes your Diksha Guru. Then you formally take initiation from that person. So that is the system. Okay, so any points so far? He should be fully capable of upholding the vows made to the spiritual master. So this is how we make advancement in spiritual life. We follow certain vows. Now, in Kali Yuga, it is not easy to follow vows. In previous yugas, people had more adhikar. Adhikar means qualification. People were much more qualified previously. These days in Kali Yuga, it's not easy for people to maintain vows. You see, all over the world, people find it very difficult to keep their promise. A vow means a promise, like that. So, as it says here, that he should be capable of upholding the vows made to the spiritual master. So at the time of initiation, we take certain vows. We vow that we will chant 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. That's not easy for people in Kali Yuga, to control their mind for 2 hours every day. Very difficult for people. Otherwise, there'd be hundreds of thousands of people doing it. You speak to the general public these days, you say, you just have to meditate for 2 hours a day. Even I was reading one article in a magazine last week, like a yoga kind of magazine, and one lady was saying in that magazine, in the article, she's saying she found it difficult to meditate for 10 minutes a day. And in this movement, we're asked to chant for 2 hours a day. That's not easy. Like that. Do not eat meat. Do not have illicit sex. Do not take intoxication. And do not gamble. Not easy for Kali Yuga people. When Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur sent his disciples to England back in the 30s, I think it was, like well before when Prabhupada came to the West, and they met one English lord, and they were preaching to him, and the Lord said, please make me a brahmana. And they said, okay, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating. And he said, that's impossible. How can you do that? That's impossible. Like that. So in Kali Yuga, these things are very difficult to take vows. But if you want to progress in spiritual life, you must take vows before the spiritual master. That is the purpose of initiation. So the point is, do not take initiation until and unless you can follow your vows. We should not rush people to take initiation. Sometimes we become over-enthusiastic. Oh, I'll take initiation, but don't push people too quickly. It's a proper balance. Not too quickly, not too slowly either. Otherwise, in Kali Yuga, you'll never get it done. You know, you'll be 97. And you say, please give me initiation. Then, like that. So not too slow, but not too quickly either. Because people have to be sure that they can follow these vows. Otherwise, it's difficult. One guru told me in ISKCON, I won't mention the name, but you all know the person, but I won't say who it was. But one of the gurus who regularly preaches to our congregation here in Melbourne, he told me, he said that when I give initiation, I know that a certain amount of the people are not going to follow it. The guru knows at the very beginning, when he gives initiation, a certain amount of people will not follow that. So it must be taken seriously. So do not take initiation until you're ready to follow the vows. It's not easy in Kali Yuga to do it. So don't rush too quickly. Don't take too long either, but don't rush too. Like Prabhupada took 11 years to take initiation, but Prabhupada was already qualified, but still he took his time like that. So therefore it says here that one should be capable of upholding the vows made to the spiritual master. Because at the time of initiation, you are vowing in front of the sacred fire, in front of the deities, in front of the guru, in front of the Vaishnavas, that you will follow these vows. You have to be ready. So prepare yourself. Take your time like that. But it says here, you have to be ready and willing to follow these vows. He should be engaged day and night in the Lord's service with body, mind and words. Who engages in Krishna's service with body, mind and words at all times? The sannyasis. That's why we have the tridanda. They carry the staff. Right? Tridanda. Body, there are 3 bamboo sticks within that. Body, mind and words. That's why they're carrying the danda, to remind them. My body, my mind, my words are to be used in Krishna's service. And in our tradition, there is also like the little half moon at the top. There's 2 staffs, the main staffs, and then the separate staff, to delineate or to show that God and the jiva are separate. The Mayavadis carry ekadanda, 1 stick. Right? Everything is one. Right? That is not our philosophy. That is not Vaishnava philosophy. So our sannyasis, they carry the tridanda. So the body, the mind and the words. So it means when you take initiation, you should become a sannyasi. It means not externally. You may not get a danda. But in your consciousness, and Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita, he said sannyas is one who follows with the body, mind and words in Krishna's service. Externally you may not take sannyas, but internally a disciple means he should be a sannyasi. He should be dedicated with the body, the mind and words in the service of Guru and Krishna. So this is a high qualification. This is a serious commitment. So you have to be ready for the commitment. Do not take the commitment lightly. You have to be serious. You have to be committed. Only when you become serious do you make advancement in Krishna consciousness. If you're not serious, then you can't advance quickly.
Who carries bifurcated?
What is it?
Who carries bifurcated danda?
The Gaudiya Vaishnava sannyasis. You see they have the danda and there's a little bit at the top. Okay, so that's the difference in the... I already explained what the difference is there. So. Like that. So you have to become serious. You're serious for so many other things. If you look within your heart, you're serious for so many things in this world. So why don't we become serious about becoming Krishna conscious? That's the most important thing in our life. If we were serious about that, we'd make unlimited advancement. You know the famous story of Bilva Mangala Thakur? Bilva Mangala Thakur, a very famous devotee in Vrindavan, right? Swam across the river in the middle of the night, right? Dangerous river like that. So many obstacles to get to the prostitute, whose name was Chintamani. And when he finally reached Chintamani, she was surprised. You've come in the middle of the night, across the river, swam all that way to meet me, endangered your own life. She said, if you were this determined to get to Krishna, you would be a pure devotee. And then he thought, because he was already advanced from his previous life, but he'd become covered by Maya. But then he thought, now she's reawoken me. Chintamani is my guru. This prostitute is my guru. So then he left and then he walked to Vrindavan to become a pure devotee of Krishna. So if we are serious, then we can become a pure devotee in this lifetime. But we're serious about so many other things. Krishna consciousness may not be on the top of the list. Until it becomes on top of the list, you can't go back to Godhead. Krishna is a jealous God. It says in the Bible, it says, God speaks in the Bible, he says, I am a jealous God. And someone who's jealous, he doesn't like it when you spend time with the other person. No, me. So Krishna is jealous. No, me. This one, no, me. Look at me. Concentrate on me. Think of me. Mamana bhava ma bhakto. Think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer your homage unto me. He's jealous. He wants everything. He doesn't like to be second. That's why he's called Hari. Hari means lion. Lion means, I'll just take whatever I want, including all of you. I will take you. Like that. So we have to surrender to Krishna, sooner or later. Okay. He should be desirous of knowing the absolute truth. So the disciple should want to know the absolute truth. We have to be deeply inquisitive. Now Krishna explains this in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna teaches how to be a disciple in the Bhagavad Gita. Tadvidi pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya. You have to do service. You have to inquire. You have to be humble, submissive. When you have these three qualities, then you make advancement. Then you're a disciple. So you have to serve your guru, right? Your gurus. Right? You have to inquire submissively from your gurus. And you have to have the right attitude. Humility, submission. Then you make advancement. So we must be desirous of knowing the absolute truth. At the end of the class, sometimes Prabhupada would say, any questions? And sometimes devotees, they would not put their hands up, there were no questions. Prabhupada says, this means you are not reading my books. Means you're not serious, not inquiring. The duty of the disciple is to inquire from the guru. He should not ask whimsical questions, don't waste his time, with boring questions or useless questions or questions for the sake of questions. Guru is not interested in that. One time one of the sannyasis came here. He comes here to Melbourne regularly, I won't say which one. But he came from, he did a conference, a big devotee conference in Malaysia. Devotees have a big meeting every year. Every year everyone comes all over Malaysia. And all the gurus come and sannyasis and they speak. So Maharaj got here and we said to Maharaj, how was the conference? And he said, yeah, it was good. And we said, what did you speak on? And he said he spoke on a particular seminar. And we said, how did the seminar go? And he said, there were lots of dumb questions. Don't waste the guru's time. Don't ask stupid questions. Don't ask irrelevant questions. Ask sincere questions about understanding the absolute truth. This should be the attitude of the disciple. Right? We should want to know about Krishna. The guru can give us Krishna. Krishna se tomorrow. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, today is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day and Gadadhar Pandit's disappearance day. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, you have Krishna. You have the ability to give him to me and I'm chasing after you, saying, Krishna, Krishna, where is Krishna? That should be the attitude of the disciple. We approach the guru to know Krishna. He can reveal Krishna to us. He should be spotless in character, truthful, gentle and polite, pleasing in appearance and intelligent. So the disciple should have these qualities. The first quality is He should be spotless in character. It means we should not have any defects. And when Lord Chaitanya teaches Sanatana Goswami, he says one of the 26 qualities of the devotee is nidosha. What does nidosha mean? No faults. Nidosh, no faults. So that is the quality of a devotee. He doesn't have faults. So we should not take initiation until we are faultless. That means it may not be this lifetime. Like that. The point is you should start overcoming your faults. One time the devotee offered his obeisances to Prabhupada. Might have been up here in Melbourne, I'm not sure. Might have been up in this room, but might have been somewhere else, I can't remember. But the devotee offered obeisances to Prabhupada and then sat up, and then he was speaking to Prabhupada. And the devotee said to Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, I am a fool. And Prabhupada said, yes, but do not remain a fool. We are foolish, but don't remain a fool in front of the Guru. Start improving. If we made a mistake, if someone made a mistake, Prabhupada would, first time, he would chastise but tolerate. Second time, he'd become extremely angry. Third time, he'd just be disgusted. So it means we should be overcoming our defects, overcoming our faults. Not that we are faultless, but there should be improvement. The Guru should be seeing improvement. Every time he comes, every time you meet the spiritual master, he should say, you are improving. You are progressing. Then he is satisfied. Truthful. Devotees should be truthful. Hands up if you have not told a lie this year.
In the office or outside?
Both.
Office means lies.
It's true. So we should be truthful. Param satyam dhimihi. It says within the Bhagavatam, we should speak the absolute truth. It means we should not tell lies in general. Devotees should be truthful. Of course, we do tell white lies, but we should not tell black lies. We should not tell. We should be true. Devotees should be honest. And one thing, devotees should learn to be morally, have moral integrity. In other words, we don't think, this is how we think sometimes. I'm a devotee, they're non-devotees, so it doesn't matter if I don't deal with them properly or tell the truth. You will be revealed in due course of time. So you should be truthful in front of the non-devotees also. And then they will become very impressed. If we talk about truth all the time, and, being devotees and we're better than everyone else, but then they see that we're not even truthful when we deal with them, then what is the preaching? That doesn't impress them. Like that. So we should be truthful. So, spotless in character, truthful, gentle. Prabhupada was asked, how will I recognize one of your disciples? Prabhupada said they are perfect ladies and gentlemen. So we should be gentle, well-mannered. As it says here, gentle and polite. Devotees should be very well-mannered. Not that sometimes we think, I am the devotee, they're the non-devotees, I can push into the front of the line. I can go first. One time, one airline hostess, she said to one of the devotees, you Hare Krishnas always want to go first. Because that's how we think. We think we're better than everyone. Because we're the devotees and they're the non-devotees. They're the demons and the Mayavadis and the, So we should not behave like that. That's not a proper mentality. Prabhupada was very polite in the way he dealt with people. And Prabhupada was respected by everyone because he dealt with everyone very politely. So we should be gentle, we should be polite, we should be truthful, as it says here. We should be pleasing in appearance. What does pleasing in appearance mean? It means we should not wear odd socks when we go on Harinam. Different coloured socks. Different shoes. Devotees should be well dressed. It actually says here, this Sanatana Goswami, pleasing in appearance. Devotees should be pleasing. First dress, then address. Prabhupada said a salesman has three qualities. It's a Bengali like saying that he was explaining. A salesman has three qualities. He should speak very well, speak very pleasingly. He should have good knowledge of his product, and he should dress very nicely. You see, Prabhupada, he always looked very pakka. Well, like he always looked very presentable. You don't see pictures of Prabhupada where he doesn't look presentable. He always looked presentable. Devotees should always look presentable. Otherwise, people will not take us seriously. You know, our kopans are hanging out the back of our dhoti as we're walking down the street. And you see all sorts of strange things devotees do. Sometimes devotees dress very strangely. You've got to understand the general public, they don't always understand. How we behave and act in the temple or when we're in the Holy Dham, that's one thing. But when you're in Melbourne, you know, you have to dress appropriately like that so the public will respect us. You know, otherwise sometimes we look very strange in our bed sheets and like that. You have to dress nice. The dhotis should be ironed. They should be nice. You know, we should look presentable like that. So. And intelligent. A disciple should be spotless in character, truthful, gentle, and polite, pleasing in appearance, and intelligent. Intelligent means you should be intelligent in the way you do things. You know, don't act like a fool. People are not impressed when we're foolish, when we're, you know, walking around all spaced out and everything like that. Just like Danodas Swami, he's one of my Shiksha gurus. He was giving a class in Vrindavan, and he was in New York. He's from New York, and he was in New York. And he said to one of the New York men, walking down the street, he said, "Excuse me, sir, I think I'm lost." And the man said, "Well, are you lost or aren't you?" He said, "That's what it's like in New York. Right? Are you lost or aren't you lost?" "Excuse me, sir, I think I'm lost." "Well, are you lost or you're not lost? What's the point?" You know. This is what New York is like. Prabhupada started the Hare Krishna movement in New York. Prabhupada was very much like that. Prabhupada was very direct. You don't see Prabhupada, Prabhupada was very together. So it means we should also be together. We should be competent. We should be more competent than non-devotees. Otherwise, how are we going to spread Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, if we are ready, Krishna can give us the whole world in 18 days. The whole earth. And then one of the devotees said, "Oh, Prabhupada, we should preach and take over the whole..." But then Prabhupada said, "But what will you do with it? Imagine if we got the whole world now, we wouldn't even know what to do with it. So how is Krishna going to give it to us?" So we have to become competent like that. So these are qualities of a disciple. A disciple is materially qualified and spiritually qualified. Now you might say, "Well, I'm not like that, so I won't get initiated." So then you should get association with devotees who are like that. Look for your god brothers, your god sisters, the other Vaishnavas who are materially together, get their association, and also develop these things. Right? When devotees first come, quite often they're spaced out. They're just walking around in bliss, like, everything's just blissful. It's Krishna. But then, my spiritual master used to just hit me, verbally, not physically, but he used to just like, pow. You just cut through, because sometimes I was just walking around in bliss, like, and he would just go, bang, Come on, like that. Get together. So this is what a devotee should be like. So we should associate with devotees who are like that. So we also get our act together. Just like I came in before, devotees are all just standing around, just chanting their japa. Nothing's set up. So I said, come on, let's start setting things up, get moving. Do some service. When a devotee sees there's some service to do, he does it. He doesn't just sit around chanting his japa. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare. Be practical. Prabhupada was I could tell many stories about Prabhupada when he just cut the devotees. Prabhupada said, do something practical. Don't just stand there and look like you're spiritual, but do something practical. Okay. He should show respect, proper respect to elders, to initiated Vaishnavas, and to the Lord. So we should offer respect to Those who are older than us, senior devotees, we should always respect the senior devotees. Senior devotees, older devotees, like that, we should respect them. 2, the Vaishnavas, initiated Vaishnavas, means those who are more advanced than us, who are senior to us. We should always be respectful. That is sadhachar, that is culture. Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness will spread by a cultural revolution. In other words, we should become culturally sound and well practiced. We should know the culture of Krishna consciousness. Vedic culture is based on one thing. It's based on many things, but one of the integral points of Vedic culture is respect to seniors, respect to superiors. That is Vedic culture. So if someone's a superior devotee, if someone's senior in age, we should offer respect to them. We should be humble. And we should offer respect to the Lord, to the deity. We discussed that in the last few weeks. That's all. He should observe silence concerning material subjects and should have control of the senses. So Rupa Goswami says this, do not speak material subjects. This is called a prajalpa. Sometimes devotees just get together and they just talk gossip. Oh, did you hear what happened in the temple yesterday? Oh, did you hear? That's not what Krishna consciousness is about. The purpose of associating with devotees is to help each other remember Krishna. Not just get together and gossip about mundane things. Otherwise, we're no better than materialists. Okay. And we should have control of the senses. So devotees should be sense-controlled. He should have control of the tongue, the belly, the genitals, the mind, the anger, the speech, all the vagans, like that. He should have control of the senses. This is a devotee. This is a Goswami. All of us are expected to be Goswami. Prabhupada said this is like the family title, Goswami. All of us should be Goswami, not Godasa. We should have control of our senses. Then we can progress in spiritual life, and then other people will respect us. What is the problem with religion these days? Everyone's going away from religion. In India, the younger generation, not so interested in religion. In the West, younger generation, not so interested in religion. Why? Because they see the leaders have no control of the senses. So how can you develop respect in those people? So what's the use of us preaching and telling everyone you should dedicate yourself to Krishna, you should become a devotee of Krishna, if we don't have control of our senses? Now, otherwise they lose faith in us. They see that we don't have genuine spiritual discipline, that we're not genuinely attached to Krishna. If we're not genuinely attached to Krishna, we'll not attract anyone. Prabhupada has said purity is the force. Okay. He should have no attraction for committing sinful activities. Hands up if you have no attraction for committing sinful activities. What's that?
The 4 sinful acts, no eating, no meeting, those 4 we have no attraction.
No attraction. Okay, you're more advanced than me.
Very bold.
Very bold. No attraction. In the material world, everyone is attracted to these things. Prabhupada even says the reason the jiva comes to the material world is to eat meat and have illicit sex. So this is what the material world is based upon, material activities. So pure devotional service, Uttama Bhakti, doesn't mean that we don't have any desire in our heart for these things, but we do not act upon the desires. That is the point. Especially if you want to be a disciple. Doesn't mean the desires are not there. My spiritual master, he was a sannyasi, he was preaching to one of my godbrothers who was a brahmachari. He said, it's not that sex desire goes away completely, but you have to learn to control it. That's the point. So it's not that these desires are not within our consciousness, within our heart, but we have to learn to control them. Then we are qualified to become a disciple. Like that. And then gradually they'll go away. On the subtle platform they'll also disappear. But it takes time. The bona fide disciple should not possess the following characteristics. He should not be lazy, dirty, sickly, continually afflicted, or lamenting, angry, proud, lusty, or coveting material desires. This powerful list. So maybe we should stop speaking now and we'll think, well, I'll never become a disciple. No, you should become a disciple. But it means that we have to work hard to develop these qualifications. So, we should not be lazy. What did Prabhupada say? No lazies, no crazies. No room for lazies, no room for crazies. Prabhupada said, better one healthy horse than a barn full of sick cows or sick horses. You know, we don't want crazy people, we don't want lazy people. Otherwise we can't preach. If our movement's full of lazy people and crazy people, how do we preach? How do we progress? Devotees should not be lazy. If something needs to be done, do it. Don't sit around and just, meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead all day. Do something practical. Like that. Dirty. A devotee should not be dirty. A devotee should be clean. Prabhupada said ISKCON is creating a revolution in cleanliness. Devotees should be very clean. Look at this room I came in. It's not clean. It's not good. Devotees should be clean personally, and their houses should be very clean. If we walk into your house right now, is it clean? Is where you live, is your ashram clean? It should be clean all the time. We should live in the mode of goodness all the time. This is sattva. This is what the disciple should be.
I want to know, when we have to choose between deity worship and cleaning the house, which one should we choose?
Clean the house is deity worship.
No, we have deity worship.
It's an irrelevant question because you do deity worship, and part of the deity worship during the day, there's 24 hours in a day, so you've got time during the day to clean the house. That's part of deity worship. So it's not that one goes at the expense of the other. If you're an organized person, you can do both simultaneously. And if you say, well, I haven't got time, then Prabhupada said sleep less, eat less. You've got time to eat and sleep, then you've got time to clean your house for the deity. Devotees should not be sickly. If devotees are always sick, this is not good. Unless you have some karma. And sometimes devotees get karma, where their bodies become ill. That happens like that. But generally, devotees should be in good health. It is your service to your guru, right? Because your body does not belong to you. When you take initiation, your body belongs to your spiritual master. It's your spiritual master's property. Therefore, if you're always sick, that is Maya. Prabhupada said, sleep and sickness are Maya. It's Maya trying to stop our service. So generally, devotees should not be sick. Take care of your health. Your health, Prabhupada actually said to Dhananjaya Prabhu, one of his disciples, he said, health first, then Krishna consciousness. How did Prabhupada sign all of his letters? I hope this meets you in good health. He used to sign all of his letters like that. End of all of his letters, thousands of letters. I hope this meets you in good health. And it's not Maya to be healthy. Devotees we should be the healthiest people. Everyone gets sick. And sometimes there's karma that you get sick. Then you can't do anything about that. But generally devotees should be healthy. Right? If you let yourself get sick through negligence, that's a disservice to your spiritual master. It means you're not taking care of your spiritual master's property. Your body is your guru's property. That's it. So we should not be lazy, dirty, sickly, continually afflicted, or lamenting. Always lamenting, oh, this happened to me, oh, that happened to me, oh. Just like I live at the farm, I come to Melbourne once a week, sometimes I meet the devotees, and every week the devotee, I'll say, how are you? Oh, this happened to me this week, oh, last week that happened to me, this week, like that. Some devotees, they do that. So sometimes we have to preach to them very forcefully. Hey, get your life together. Always lamenting about this, lamenting about that. This is like Shudra mentality. What does the Shudra always do? Always complaining, always complaining. Devotees should not be like that. Always complaining about everything. Devotees should be very grateful. We should be very grateful. One time my spiritual master, a long time, 20 years ago, we were going for a walk out the front gate there, and he said to me, he said, how are you going? Because something was going on in my life, so he was concerned about something. And he was saying about this, and he's saying, how is it going? And I was, saying, oh, it's like this, and it's like that, and it's like that. And he turned around and he said to me, you should just be very grateful that Krishna has given you shelter at his lotus feet. Devotees should be very grateful. We don't have very much to complain about. I think our lives are by Krishna's mercy, our lives are very good. So devotees should not always be lamenting and complaining. It's not devotional mentality. He should not be angry. If devotee is always angry, this is not good. This is called tamagun. Right there. Proud. Devotee should not be proud. Proud means always trying to put yourself above everyone else. Right? This is rajagun. This is mode of passion. Devotee should not be proud. Should be humble. Should be self-defacing. Like that. Lusty. Devotees should not be lusty. You cleanse lust. How does lust become cleansed? By devotional service. Then all the lust it disappears from the heart. Like that. And coveting material desires means greedy. Devotees should not be greedy. I want more, I want more, I want one car, I want two cars, I want a better car, I want this, no, devotees are not like that. Devotees are just satisfied with what they get in Krishna's service. And if they have extra money, then they should use that in Krishna's service. Just like one of the devotees told me on the weekend, they brought an apartment for their guru in Mayapur. So how much does the apartment cost? $70,000? Something? Maybe more, maybe less. It's about, I think about $70,000 like that. They brought that for their guru. They're very wealthy devotees, but they're using their wealth in the service of the spiritual master. That way you don't become entangled. So just have as much as you need, and then the rest you give to the ISKCON. How much money does ISKCON need? Unlimited. Prabhupada said, you give me $1 million today, I will spend it by the end of the day. That is ISKCON. All right, you give us $1 million today, we'll spend it by the end of the day. And then Prabhupada said, and then we'll get another $1 million tomorrow, and we'll spend that as well. Big temple we have to build in Mayapur. Big temple we have to build all over the world. Only one temple in Melbourne is not good enough. Prabhupada said every suburb. It should be one in Albert Park and one in Middle Park. Then you don't have to walk so far. Every temple. We're not successful yet. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we haven't gotten to where we need to be yet. And we have to do a lot more. So use your money in Krishna's service. Why are you holding on to all your money for? Give it to Krishna. Keep enough for your family. We should look after our family nicely, but we should be giving a lot to Krishna as well. That's how you advance as your grihasta. Okay. He should not show the enjoying mood. He should not indulge in sinful activities such as taking meat, intoxication, gambling, or illicit sex. He should not earn a living by unjust means. This is important. Devotees should not earn a living by unjust means. I know some of the spiritual masters, when the devotees want to get initiated by them, they ask them, what is your vocation? What is your job? Just like some of the devotees work in coals. But then I know some of the spiritual masters, they say, I will not give you initiation if you're working in the meat-eating department or those places, or even at the front register where you have to take all the food through, like that. Even you have to touch the meat. Some of the gurus say, I will not initiate you even if you do that job. If you work in fruit and veg, which is sattvic, then I'll initiate you. So we should not... it's very difficult in Kali Yuga because practically every job that we have, every company we work for, they're involved in ugra karma. But if you're in one of the ones that are in very bad ugra karma, then you should look for another job. Krishna will generally, you'll see Krishna, when devotees have a desire to get out of a particular job because there's too much sinful activity involved, Krishna makes arrangements for them. Like that. He should not use vulgar or coarse language. So devotees should not use vulgar language, coarse language. And they should not swear and use bad language. It's very low class. It's not cultured, not civilized. One should not be critical of others. So what is the nature of a devotee? A devotee is always looking for the good qualities in the others. So he's not critical. Sometimes there's some devotees who have kanishta mentality. They're always fault-finding other devotees. So we should avoid their association. In our mind, we should respect them, but we should keep a distance from them. Like that. And we should not do that ourselves. Be unnecessarily critical. The only devotee who can be critical is the senior devotees. They have to criticize. They have to point out constructively they have to criticize so that we improve. But we should not be critical of everyone. It is said that when you point one finger, there's 4 fingers pointing back towards you. So you might be pointing at someone, hey, you did that, but you did so many other things as well. So be very careful. He should not be miserly, malicious, devious, or envious. So we should not be miserly. Miserly means keeping everything for ourselves. It is said that when someone comes to your home, you should treat them as if God himself has come. If someone comes to your home, you should receive the guest to the best of your ability. Prabhupada said at least give them a place to sit, some sweet words and some water. That's minimal. But you should give as much as you can, as much facility as you can. Actually, the culture is when someone comes to your home, you should say you can have anything that you want. That's actually the culture. The guest is to be treated as good as God. That is the system. So we should not be miserly, malicious. Malicious means that we're very envious. We really try to do something which will disturb another person very greatly. That's malicious, when you do something very bad to someone. Devotees should not be like that. Sometimes people do very bad things to us, but we should not retaliate. We just say, I'm not going to act like that. You may do that to me, but I'm not going to act like that to you. That's all. Devious or envious. Devious means unlawful. Sometimes doing things a little bit tricky to break the law. But you have to be very careful about those things. Devotees should not have that kind of behavior. They should act properly and follow the laws properly. And do not be envious of others.
What do you mean by unlawful?
Unlawful means we should not break the law, the state laws. Just like devotees should follow the speed limits. I've seen some of the devotees not following the speed limits. If the sign says 60 kilometers an hour, there's a reason why. Right? If it says 80 kilometers an hour, there's a reason why. If it says 100, I've seen devotees driving very fast, many times. In Malaysia, a number of devotees lost their life because they were driving too fast. So Jayapataka Swami, because he is one of the gurus in Malaysia, he said that my mercy finishes after 80 kilometers an hour. He said, after that, you're on your own. He said, I'll protect you up until 80 kilometers an hour. He said, after that, then you're on your own. Like that. So devotees should not speed. I've seen devotees do that. They drive too fast over the speed limit. It's not good. It will catch up with you. Cars are very dangerous. The Vedic system is you walk, or you get a ox and a cart or a horse. That's the system, actually. You don't hear about, two oxes like crashing into each other. Cars are very dangerous. You take that. I'm always very careful in cars. My own spiritual master left his body in a car accident. Like that. You take cars very seriously. I always keep my car completely serviced. If anything needs to be done, I get it done. I make sure there's no fault in the car, right? And I don't go over the speed. I always go below the speed of anything, not over, because they're very dangerous. I had a car accident. few years I was in a car and then the car went off like that. Very dangerous like that, so be very careful. As to follow the law. There's a reason why we have laws. People are not, the government's not completely stupid. Sometimes we say, oh, they're all demons. They're not totally stupid, right? They understand why there's speed limits and these things, so follow these things like that. He should not give pain to others or be addicted to cruel activities. So this includes insects, this includes trees, plants, all these things as well. The devotee should be Mahimshat Sarvabhutani. Bhagavad Gita says, Prabhupada quotes in the Gita, Mahimshat, you should not make harm to anyone. Right? Don't kill the ant or the insect or the mosquito unnecessarily, or the fly unnecessarily, or the spider unnecessarily, or the trees unnecessarily. He should not be ignorant, nor should he be proud of material learning. He should not indulge in non-Vaishnava philosophies. He should not be addicted to overeating. Okay. So he should not be proud of material learning. Don't try to impress your guru with material learning. Oh, I know this and I know that. You know, sometimes we're in front of the senior devotee or the guru and we start, making out like we're very expert. I know so many things, I know so many things like that. But don't do that because the guru will immediately cut you. I mean, Indradyumna Swami was upstairs one time and then he asked one of the devotees to come and help with the computer. And the devotee is one of the top computer people in our congregation. I won't mention the name, but everyone knows. One of the top, and he was up there and he was doing the computer and he couldn't fix the problem. Then Maharaj says, have you plugged it in? And I'm like, oh, no, I haven't plugged it in yet. So don't get proud of your position. Otherwise the guru will immediately cut you like that. Do not indulge in non-Vaishnava philosophies. If you're going to study something which is not to do directly with the Bhakti Shastras, with pure devotional service, you should get permission from your guru. If you have to study material knowledge or spiritual knowledge, which will somehow facilitate your devotional service, you should consult with senior devotees first. You shouldn't just go off and because otherwise you may become confused or you may water things down. Some devotees aren't mature enough yet. They need guidance. And we should not be addicted to overeating. So do not eat too much. Achahara, priyashascha. Otherwise a great stumbling block for spiritual progress, especially in this temple. Very difficult not to overeat. Sunday feast. We have Sunday feast 7 times a day. ISKCON Melbourne. Leeladhar Gupta actually is an Ayurvedic doctor from Vrindavan. His father, Narottama Gupta, actually treated Prabhupada. He came here to this temple, Leeladhar. He said, very difficult to control your senses in this temple. He said that when he saw the prasad. He said, very difficult to control your senses. So you have to try. You have to try to control your senses. Don't overeat too much. Prabhupada said first 6 months, you can eat so much that you waddle like a duck. But not the first 6 years. Or 16 years. Prabhupada said 6 months, but after that, then start to control what you're eating. Okay. The following rules of etiquette should be observed by the bona fide disciple in relation to his spiritual master. He should fall down like an uprooted tree, dandavat, on seeing the spiritual master. When you see the guru, you should offer dandavat. Dandavat means full obeisances to the spiritual master. When do you offer obeisances to the guru? When you see him, and then when he sees you. Like if you walk into the courtyard, for example, and your guru is there, if you see him, you offer your obeisances. But if he has his back to you, when he turns around and he sees you, you should offer your obeisances again. So when you first see him, when you're coming into his association, and when you're leaving his association, you should offer obeisances to the guru. When the spiritual master approaches, he should face him, and when he leaves, he should follow him. So if the guru comes towards you, then you should face the guru. You should give your attention to the guru. You should respect the guru. And when he leaves, it says that you should follow him. Once again, you have to be practical. Doesn't mean you just keep following and keep following and keep following and keep following and keep following like that. Just I remember my Guru Maharaj, he gave class one time in the evening in the temple. Then after class, we walked upstairs. So I was following him upstairs, up there, and he was staying in the double room just up there. And then when he walked into his room, I followed him in, and he turned around and he said, "What are you doing?" I was just a new devotee, so I was just like, walking around like, just following my Guru Maharaj, like that. But it's not practical. Like that, you have to learn. It means follow the Guru. It means always be around in case he needs some service. But you have to learn not to impose upon him. He'll let you know very quickly if you're imposing. He should not leave the spiritual master's presence without asking permission. So if the guru wants you around, then you should stay around so you can offer service. And then, if the guru does not want you around, then you should not be around. So you have to know what the guru wants. A first-class disciple knows what the guru wants. So you should be attentive. A first-class disciple, Guru Mukha, Padma, Vakya, Chitete, Koriya Aikya, Chitta, our consciousness, Aikya means it should become one with the Guru's desires. If we're actually a disciple, a first-class disciple, we should know the heart of the spiritual master. We should know what he wants, even before he asks for it. That's a real disciple. Most of us are not on that level, but a real disciple should know exactly what the Guru wants. I think so. Especially if you've been serving the Guru for a long time. Right? If you've been serving a senior devotee who's like your Shiksha Guru or your spiritual master, your initiating spiritual master, for a long time, you should know what they want. You should know how they like to eat, what they like to eat, when they like to eat. You should know all the details. Right? It should be, perfect service. I think so. He should not utter the spiritual master's name inattentively, but always with respect. So when the spiritual master is not present, you don't just speak his name inattentively. Always with respect to your spiritual master. Any sannyasi, any senior devotee, Aniruddha Prabhu. You don't just say Aniruddha. Aniruddha Prabhu. Right? Or such and such Maharaj. Sometimes I hear devotees, they just say, they call the gurus by their first name. Not appropriate. Who are you? You're not so advanced, so you always offer respect. He should not imitate the gait, activities, or voice of the spiritual master. So you should not imitate the spiritual master's voice. Sometimes devotees do this. They imitate the voice or the way the guru speaks, but actually Sanatana Goswami says, do not do like that. Not appropriate. Not that. He should always hold the spiritual master's words in great respect. Guru Mukha, Padma Vakya, the lotus, what comes from the lotus mouth of my spiritual master. Prabhupada says, the instructions of the guru are the pride of the disciple. All right, whatever this guru gives you, the disciple keeps that within his heart. These are the instructions of my spiritual master. That's though he may be punished by the spiritual master, he should not take it unkindly. Sometimes the guru is heavy. One time, Giriraj Maharaj, he said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada was heavy. We get chastised. My spiritual master was known to be heavy. In ISKCON, he was known to be a very strong spiritual master. But he said to us one time, he said, what do you think it was like getting chastised by Prabhupada? And can you even imagine what it's like being chastised by Prabhupada? How heavy that was. Like that. So one time Giriraj Maharaj, he said to Prabhupada, how should we feel? Sometimes Prabhupada, you're very strong. How should we feel? Prabhupada said, you should feel very fortunate that someone cares about you so much that they are taking the time out to improve your faults. Words to that effect. We should feel, if we get chastised, Prabhupada actually said he preferred the chastisements of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to the praises. If the Guru chastises you, if a senior devotee chastises you, that's actually for your benefit. You should appreciate that, and you should humbly respect that and accept that. He should not bear to hear criticism of the spiritual master, the scriptures of the Lord, but should leave that place immediately. So if someone criticizes the Guru or criticizes the scriptures, you should defeat the person on the spot. If you can't defeat them because they're a fool, then you should leave. But if you can defeat them, you should defeat them immediately. Or else you should leave, like that, if they're too foolish. He should not step on the spiritual master's garland, bed, shoes, asana, shadow, or eating table. No? So you don't step on anything which belongs to the Guru, you don't step on anything that belongs to Krishna, you don't step on anything that belongs to any devotee. Because everything is the Lord's paraphernalia. Everything like this mridanga is superior to me. Right? I'm lower than this mridanga because this is Lord Balaram's energy. It is Krishna's energy. Right? It is the paraphernalia of the Lord. Every devotee is the paraphernalia of the Lord. Right? Everything that belongs to every devotee is the paraphernalia of the Lord. So we do not disrespect. Okay. Just like one devotee, he moved Prabhupada's typewriter with his foot. So Prabhupada made him pay his obeisances to the typewriter. He should not spread his legs before the spiritual master, nor should he yawn, laugh, or make disrespectful noises before him. So if you're going to yawn, cover your mouth. That's good. Sometimes you're giving class and devotees are yawning. It's not very polite. Cover your mouth. If you're going to yawn. It says here, do not laugh in front of the Guru. It means don't laugh inappropriately. If the Guru is making some jokes, then, you can laugh. That's okay. You don't sit there and go. If the Guru is making some jokes, then you laugh naturally. But don't laugh inappropriately. My spiritual master used to say some very funny things, very humorous. But you have to know when to laugh and when not to laugh like that. Anyway, I haven't got time to tell, but some funny stories. One time he was chastising me and he was smiling. He was walking up and down. And he was smiling while he was chastising me. So when he'd get past me, then I'd start to smile because I'd see he was smiling. And then when he turned around, I'd go. Very serious. And then he knew what was going on as well, so he'd look at me very intensely. And then he'd walk, and then as he got past me, he'd start smiling again. And then he'd turn back and he'd look at me. So we're going like that. Like that. So I was only smiling because he was smiling like that, but he was trying to make a point like that. So, but the point is, don't. The spiritual master chastises you, and you're just like, oh, that's nice. It's like it's not appropriate. And that's all. He should not sit on an asana or bed before the spiritual master. You always sit below the Guru. Always sit below the Guru. Never sit above. Last time I saw my spiritual master in Oxford, in England, we were having prasadam together at the table, like sitting on chairs. So I was surprised actually. He asked me to have prasadam with him each day. So we're sitting on the same level. But then after we had prasadam, we washed our hands, we went to sit in the lounge room, and he sat on the couch, and then I sat on the other couch because I just, in my mind, I just thought, well, we've just been sitting there having prasadam. And then I sat in the king, he just looked at me, and he goes, you can't sit on the, he said, you can't sit on the same level as your Guru. He said, I was just, shocked. Because we just had prasadam together, so I was trying to get my head around the whole thing. I was shocked that he'd even let me sit on the same level when we were having prasadam, but he was doing that. He said, no, that's different, that's prasadam. Sometimes the Guru will ask the disciple to eat with him. So maybe you'll get the same facility. Sometimes the Guru will do, say eat, or ask one of the disciples to eat at the same time. So you get the same facility. But the rest of the time, if the Guru asks you, okay, but the rest of the time you should always sit below the Guru. He should not worship others in preference to the spiritual master. So if your guru is there, you always treat your guru with the utmost respect. The guru actually appreciates that you treat his godbrothers with even more respect. Right? If my godbrother of my guru was there and we were all fussing over my guru but neglecting his godbrother, he'd become very upset. So the guru and the godbrother should be treated with the same respect. That will please the spiritual master. He should not give diksha, initiation, give scriptural explanations or show superiority in front of the spiritual master. So don't preach in front of your guru. If your guru is there, or the senior devotee is there, you let them preach. If they indicate that you should preach, then you will speak something. Like sometimes Prabhupada would say to his disciples, you give class. Okay, Prabhupada is saying, then you give class. But not in his presence. You don't try to show superiority in front of the senior devotee. Like that. He should not give orders to the spiritual master, but always obey him. Sometimes, but you have to be practical as well, because sometimes you should point things out to the spiritual master if that will assist him. Just like one time, Gurujan Prabhu and Tamal Krishna Maharaj, they were giving class together, 1993, in the evenings. They were both here. So in the evenings, they'd give class together. So they'd both sit there and give class. So I was sitting there and I was recording. So they had like a microphone which they would pin to them. And then they'd take it off and give it to the other one and he'd speak, and then they'd put it back. And then halfway through, they forgot, to change the mics, like that. So what I did, I just adjusted the sound on the recording device so that it'd still pick up. But then Tamal Krishna Maharaj, when Gurujan Prabhu finished speaking, then he went to get, and then he realised, oh no, he'd had it on the whole time. And then he looked at me and said, why didn't you say something? So sometimes you have to say something. Sometimes we're too scared, we sit in front of our guru and we're just like, but sometimes you have to be practical, and you have to say, Guru Maharaj, you have to move the microphone like that. That's serving the guru. That will appreciate him. So you have to know what to do properly. He should treat the spiritual master with similar respect. So the guru, the spiritual master, we treat him with the same respect. In ISKCON, that means Srila Prabhupada at the moment, but in the future it will mean further and further. But the guru and the guru is guru. And in ISKCON, for everyone, it's Prabhupada. Like that. He should treat the wife, son, and relatives of the spiritual master as the spiritual master, but he should not clean the body of the son, take his remnants, or wash his feet. So the wife of the spiritual master, if the spiritual master is a grihasta, the wife of the guru should be treated the same as the spiritual master. And the children of the guru, they should be offered great respect. Not exactly the same respect. You'll bathe the feet of the guru, you won't bathe the feet of the guru's son, but you will offer him great respect. Like that. Srila Prabhupada ki.